Hi, how are you doing? Listen, Llewellyn, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I really appreciate it. So for our viewers who have no idea who you are, please will you just tell us who is Llewellyn Devereaux?
Hi, I'm Llewellyn Devereaux. I am a global speaker. I'm an author. I am, what would I say? Let's say global speaker. I am, I work in strategy. Strategy is part of my thing as well, innovation and growth. And at the same time, I'm the founder and the inventor of a product called Lohocla, which is the world's first anti-hangover shooter. And that's basically what I did in the beginning.
Damn, dude. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, so I tend to forget these things because I have to like put them in order, but then sometimes I forget about them. I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. But anyway, it comes back to me at some point.
Awesome.
So, when you're multidimensional, you do one thing, then you do something else, then you add something else, and it's like, actually, what do? You don't even know anymore, but you just do it.
Yeah, so you just catch yourself and turn everything into like one big idea.
That's it.
Love it.
So that's me.
Awesome. Okay, so how many late nights and really rough mornings did it take for you to decide that you need a cure for babalas? And thank you, just by the way.
No, it was enough. It was enough late nights for me to realize this is what it is. Then eventually, it just was the problem of the day I had to go to class in the morning after Sunday night. So it was like, I don't mind dealing with it. Before it was like, cool, Friday night, Saturday night. But then Monday morning was my problem because I was like, damn, okay, here's an issue. And there was nothing I could think of. And then from there, it was like, actually, let's jump in and see what the story is. And then boom. So it wasn't a lot. It was just a matter of one day. It was just like, no, like I need to be in this class.
Oh, my word.
And it was like, I was there like this the whole time in class. Like, what am I doing? Like, really? And that's what happened.
I think many of us can actually relate.
You see, many people can relate, but no one can think sometimes, actually, what can I do? But it's one of those things that it was interesting. It was a eureka moment that I'll never forget. I never will forget that moment.
So how did you find?
And then it changed my life.
Yeah, flip. But all the ingredients, how did you?
I didn't. I mean, all I did was just find people. I just kind of spent enough time knocking on too many doors. And eventually, people led me to the right way. I went to a doctor, I went to a biochemist, I went to a pharmacist, and people just said, listen, speak to this, speak to that. Then eventually, somehow, some way, things came together. But in all honesty, I knew nothing except how to consume and what I wanted to make. But in terms of learning everything else, I basically had to go and find the people. And that's what I had to do. That was what I had to kind of unfortunately learn to do. It wasn't easy. It took me some time, but eventually it came together.
Yeah, flip, I can imagine how much time that must have taken. Yo. And the last
it's been 9 years now in the game. So it's been like the first 2-3 years was about finding the people. So the first 2-3 years was finding the right people to make things happen. And that's basically what happened.
So did you have to feed them like a lot of drinks for them to get really drunk and then see if the product worked afterwards?
No, I mean, eventually you had to trust the pharmacist. The pharmacist was like, listen, dude, this is what. So I was like, listen, how do we get rid of the headache? And he was like, well, the headache is about water. So we have to have it with the water. Then it was cool. How do you fix that funny feeling in your tummy? Well, we have to rebalance the pH. So we put turmeric in. So the pharmacist knew what ingredients work for what. All I had to tell him was, I don't want this feeling, that feeling, this feeling, that feeling. And he was like, cool. And then we made it. And then so we had to trust that it was there. But when we had it initially, like I remember the first time we actually tried it, when we had the first formula, like it had a lot of, I think it had, the one we have now has ginseng, but initially it had guarana in it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so we had it and we were drinking and we're like, okay, what are we going to do? Because the thing is, the product actually sobers you up, but we can't claim that, right?
Okay.
Because people are going to drive and then boom, it's one of those things. So, but the issue that happened was that we had it and then we were like, is it working? Is it working? Is it working? And we felt it, right? They were like, shit, it works. Then it was done. Then we knew. Then it was like, okay, cool. Now we know that it works. It's done. Maybe some people lied. I don't know, but who cares, eh? Right? That's what it is.
That is awesome. And you use your own product?
I do. Right? That's what it is. You have to get half your own supply.
Oh, great. I love it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So seeing that you are a busy bee, like you're always on the ball, what do you do in your free time? So what do you do if you're not working or conjuring up some other inventions in your mind? What else do you do?
Oh man, I like chilling. I like grabbing some movies, going out for a drink or two, chatting, watching an Arsenal game, being up and about. Travel is also my thing. So it's just things that kind of like, but it's almost weird because these things all feed into me anyway. So I'm never really off, even though I think I'm off, but you know what I mean? But for the most part, I love music. If I can just chill and just listen to music, have my hubbly, I'm good. No one can stress me.
And games? What about games?
So okay.
Your games. You're also going to throw in the game.
Well, if there is a good game, if there is a good game, I will play it. But otherwise, these days they don't release like great games anymore. It's like just like games that end quickly. I like games that challenge me. So when there's a great game out there, then boom, I'm there. Like, thanks for reminding me about that. That makes sense.
Yes. All right. Speaking of challenges, you're also a problem solver. Last time we saw you said that you love to solve problems, right? So can you tell us a little about that? When did you discover that this is your thing? You just love to solve problems.
I guess I never really discovered it. I think my mom pointed out to me that since I was younger, like whenever there was an issue with anything, since I was like 4 or 5, she says, I was always fixing things, right? So she'd get me a toy, I'd take it apart, and then I'd be like, oh, this is how it works, and put it back together again. So it was one of those things that I liked. I was always playing with the screwdriver. So whenever someone had an issue with the TV or something in the family, I was like, cool. I was the person to call, and I'd fix something. I always figure it out because I always knew that every problem has a solution. So everything that I do is around problem solving. So it's like the hangover thing is not because I wanted to do a business, because I solved a problem, right? Yeah. The book that I wrote was to address the mindset issue. It's a problem, right? So everything that I do is to say, okay, cool, there's a problem, and all we do as people is that we look at the problem and then we admire it, right? So it's like, oh, look at this nice problem. Oh, look how good it looks. And then everyone talks about it. There's analysts, there's all these people that are saying, oh, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. Nobody's saying let's do something about it. So for me, I get frustrated when I see a problem. It makes me want to solve it because I have to deal with the problem. Yeah. So that's why it's like I get frustrated by something not working. I don't like it when things don't work. Yeah. So that's why for me, it's like, let's fix this problem. And I found this out, I guess, since I was young. That's basically what happened to me.
Okay, sure. And when you were much younger, did you ever think of the career that you wanted to go into? Is this something that you wanted to do? Or is it just is it just a different path that just led you to this?
I always told my mom and I told my grandma when I was younger, I think she said I was in grade 1, that I said I wanted to be a scientist of technology. That's what I told her, right? Because I knew that I wanted to work with technology. I wanted to work with but I knew it was always around like fixing problems and solving issues. That was always what was driving what I was trying to do. But obviously I had no words. Yeah. So as time went on, I had no idea about it until I got to varsity, where I knew I wanted to build and create my own things. That's what it is. In varsity, I knew I wanted to build my own things. I wanted to be about my own things. I wanted my freedom. I wanted to make a lot of money, and I wanted to impact the world. That's what it is. I just knew that.
That's awesome.
So I think it only became clear in varsity when I was like, actually, bro, I want to be rich. I actually want to be rich. Let's leave it like that. Boom.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. Okay, and what's in the pipeline now? What have you got planned next? What's your next experiment?
So now obviously we're bringing the product back into the market with the pharmacies, and we're obviously looking to expand it beyond SA to Europe and the US. So it's in the plan, and then exit it eventually. But now the plan is really, like I'm writing another book now this year called Larger Than Life, which is going to be really dope. It's like a really cool book because of all the things we went through with COVID. And at the same time, I'm starting to do quite a bit of work in the continent in Africa. So now I'm the director of entrepreneurship and innovation for the Africa Trade Chain, which means now it's about how do we now implement the free trade agreement that's come into place this year, and how do we make it a thing? How do we connect SA people and products and services to African markets, right? And my main issue is also now to kind of go work help in government to kind of help with the unemployment and the growth situation. As well as some other innovations that I'll be working with, like with other companies. So right now it's just, I'm taking all my skills and everything that I'm really good at, and I'm combining it. And so it's strategy here, it's building new products here, it's building new systems, and just living life, because I think right now I want to enjoy my life again, because I've been building for so long that I need to now decide how I'm going to put all these things together. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but I really am excited about where it is. I'm really excited to come out of COVID and all the stuff that we went through for COVID. So it's an exciting time to restore what was lost. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like you've actually walked an adventure throughout your journey, but what was the hardest part about it all?
it was always dealing with the disappointments. You always want things to happen in your own way, in your own time. And so when things don't happen in that time, when deals fall through before they happen, when someone says yes to you, then they change their minds, or when a client comes or a client goes, like, dealing with the disappointments isn't something that we were trained for when we were younger.
Yeah.
Like when we were younger, we were only trained to deal with our parents, right? If our parents were disappointed in you, that's like, oh, you did something, you bunked school, you didn't get good marks, your parents are upset with you. But we were not trained how to deal with disappointment in the real world.
No.
And so that's a very new thing you have to learn when you stick your neck out and someone punches you in the face. It's like, you don't know how to deal with that, right? So that has always been something that you have to deal with. But everything else, it's like, being scared of doing something new, that's never been my issue. But it's just being able to deal with how you want life to be versus how reality actually is. And being able to live in between those moments, because you want your life to be this way when actually it's getting there, but it's the patience to endure the disappointments and the pain and the rejections and all the bullshit that it comes with, and COVID as well, right? That's one of the things I have to deal with as well. So that's really what that was the hard thing. But eventually you realize that it's built into doing anything new. It's just how it works. It's part of the process. You have to learn that for you to win, you must lose. It's like juggle the two forces, balance the beast.
Yeah. But like now, when you have your moments of struggle, then who do you lean on? Who inspires you, and who has always been there for you through your journey?
Well, I mean, I've always had to rely on myself. At least now I've got my girlfriend. She's there if I feel like something is terrible, and it's like, oh, this is nuts. And then it's like, we kind of like help each other in that aspect. But then for the most part, it's just I've learned that I think I've been through so much. I've been through so many disappointments in terms of just the journey, people, and just I've been shown so many flames that I'm used to the flames in a sense of I expect it now, versus before it was like, oh, something happens and I'm like out for like a week and I'm like, oh, I'm there through a thing, I'm licking my wounds. It's like one of those things, you realize that this is what comes with it, so you eventually get used to the fact that this is what comes with the battle. You have to have scars. So you become stronger. You just become stronger.
And okay, so for those who actually look at you and you inspire them and they want to become someone like you, what message can you give them, and to like inspire them and motivate them to not be afraid of what they want to do and to just do it? Because it sounds like you just did it. You weren't afraid of it. You were ready to take on the risks and the flames. So what can you say? What can you say to them now to make them just do it?
Yeah, I mean, the truth of the matter is that everybody, when you do something new, you're always going to feel the fear. So I was afraid, right? I was afraid, but you do what you do in spite of the fear. So it's like so when you are afraid of something, it's not because it's going to kill you. So there's a difference between fear and danger, right? Danger is like there's a tiger. Don't go to the tiger, it's going to kill you. That's danger, right? But fear is all in your mind, because remember something, that our brains haven't been wired to differentiate between danger and fear. So when you feel fear, because it's in your mind, you're associated with danger. That's why you feel what you feel. But for the most part, the truth of the matter is the fact that fear is, you're going to feel any sort of fear when you do something new that you have never done before. It's just one of those things. That's why, like, people.
Anyway.
Hey?
You feel the fear and you just do it anyway.
Yes. So the thing is, I always tell people is like, you must make sure what you want it above anything else. That's it. Because then from there, it becomes a priority above fear. So what you do is you prioritize what you want above fear. That's it. So if fear becomes the priority, you're always going to lose. But if you really want what you want, if you as Jaden like somebody and you're afraid to speak to them, whatever, like, if you want the person, you're going to bypass the fear. It's just life. That's how it's going to go. So you are going to be afraid. Every single time you do something, you're going to feel afraid. You're going to be scared about it. But all fear is telling you, it's saying to you, bro, in that direction, there's some new shit. We don't know how to do it. And that's the direction of growth. That's where things are going to happen. That's where the magic might happen. But right now, if you go that direction, I can't help you. You're going to need faith for that shit, not me. You're going to need faith. So that's how it is.
That's how it is.
You see what I'm saying? So
I see what you're saying.
So that you're going to need faith when you go that direction. You don't have experience.
Yeah.
Because you've never been there before. No. Yeah. And then eventually when you get used to it, you're no longer afraid of it anymore. Now you tap into experience because you've done it before. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's it. Anything new is going to be afraid. So anybody who wants to do anything with themselves or awesome, is that fear is an indicator. Like, it tells you where to go. Yeah. But what you must want what you want above fear. Prioritize what you want above fear. But make sure you want what you want and you want it badly. Like, you must be obsessed with what you want. It mustn't just be some, yeah, it can't just be like a kind of wants it, like, oh, I don't know, do you really want it? No.
All right. Listen, Llewellyn, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. The team sends their regards and their love. You are incredible, and they rave about you all the time. You are insane and so charismatic. Oh, really? Yes. Yeah, so thank you very much. We do appreciate it, and please stay awesome and keep us up to date with your new invention, because I want to know more.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Tell them I'd say hi. Tell them to go forth and conquer.
I will I will do. Thank you so much, Llewellyn. Cool. Have a good one. Cheers.
Likewise. Bye.
Bye.